It feels weirdly appropriate that the circus is back in town and has once again taken over a chunk of the parking lot outside of the Alamo Drafthouse here at Littleton's Aspen Grove. A month or so back on the Drafthouse Diary, after seeing Inland Empire, I talked about the fact that I was sad over David Lynch's passing, and of course I still am. But I'm happy to say that I think symbol-heavy, unsettling, and ambitiously weird filmmaking is still out there, and it's in pretty good hands with filmmakers like Trey Shults. This is a Drafthouse Diary for Friday, May 16th, 2025, and I just saw his new movie, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Now, I'm not suggesting any particular stylistic similarity between Shults and David Lynch, but I do think that they share a certain drive, a certain purity, a certain kind of motivation about filmmaking, and wanting film to be very much its own thing, its own kind of storytelling. This movie stars Abel, Tesfaye, Jenna, Ortega, and Barry Keoghan, and Tesfaye, better known to millions as The Weeknd, is playing a fictionalized version of himself, an arena-filling pop star who at the beginning of this movie is in the process of an emotional collapse over a very, very bad breakup. But soon circumstances lead him down paths that involve a complete crumbling of his reality. I'm not going to say too much more about the movie itself, except to say that I'm glad that I saw it. I can see, as I mentioned, a kind of ambition in it, and I'd like to see more of this kind of filmmaking. Something that's very different from straightforward narrative. So don't see this movie if you really do want straightforward narrative. Also, don't see this movie if you are particularly susceptible to flashing lights, or if you're susceptible to motion sickness. There is a lot of camera movement in this movie, and it's part of what leads it to be unsettling, especially in, say, the first third. Occasionally, the patterns of that handheld camera movement become and tedious in their own right, but it's still an interesting approach, and it still serves a purpose in the movie. Do see this movie if you like this kind of weirdness and things that leave you wondering about the nature of reality. Do see this movie if you see it in a theater that has very good sound. Now, I do want to tell you about the rest of my trip to the Alamo, but if you're enjoying this Drafthouse Diary, please click that like button, and if you are interested in seeing more of these as they come out, click subscribe. I record a Drafthouse Diary for every one of my trips to an Alamo Drafthouse anywhere in the country, and occasionally other travel and movie-related videos as well. The Alamo pre-show was not made for this movie, which was a little disappointing. I think you could have found really interesting things about the filmmaker, about their music videos, about The Weeknd and his co-stars, but I understand that this is not a movie that's going to be in theaters for a long time, and they can't make a new custom pre-show for everything they screen. This was fairly standard. It had some cartoons, including old cartoons mixed with new lo-fi and funk beats. It had a bunch of Sentai kind of Japanese TV show promos and Godzilla movie promos. It was a mixed bag. It was fun. It was entertaining. Didn't particularly add anything to this movie. I did get some dinner at this trip to the Alamo. I got a pepperoni pizza, and it was a little different than the pepperoni pizzas tend to be. It was not rolled or stretched quite as flat as it used to. It had more crust around the edge, and it had a lot of pepperoni. Not the best pizza I've had here, but it was very good. I also tried the key lime pie jar. There's nothing spectacular about that, but it's good, it's enjoyable, and I'm glad to see them continuing with their additional dessert options. The service was very good. The theater was almost empty. Another reason I think that this is not a movie that's going to be in theaters very long. But I do appreciate the fact that the Alamo gives screen time to these unusual movies. Not that it was necessarily too hard to convince people to put The Weeknd on screen for a while. Thank you for joining me for this Drafthouse Diary. I'll be back soon with more. In the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.